Last time.
Son of a...
And now, more of the same.
Junpei, Clover, and Lotus leapt out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them.
Whew, thank God we got out of there.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, yeah.
All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest, and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clear air, and with each one, he could feel his body begin to calm down.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked.
Damn, none of these open. They're all locked.
How about that one?
The final door sat in the corner of the hallway.
Let's hope this is the door with the prize.
Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. Snake? There was no doubt the voice belonged to...
Jumpy!
Huh?
He spun around. There at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running toward him. 3 of them.
June? Santa! 7!
They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, gasping for air.
Hey, what are you guys doing here? What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as what she'd found.
Hey, on the wall. A map of the ship's interior?
It says C deck.
So it's the map for this floor, then?
Door 7 and... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
Alright, cool. In fact...
Yeah, isn't that what I said? We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. And that's how the nonary game works.
Correct. Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. This leads to...
Wait, this leads to the other side of the infirmary. We can get Ace. As they looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness.
Oh.
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen.
We may as well go.
Yeah.
As one, they all moved back towards the door Junpei had only a moment ago been ready to open.
Almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
They nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. Also, that sentence kind of makes no sense, because he's standing there with his hands on the door, didn't look back at him, said, "I'm gonna open it," and they all nodded, and he said, "Okay." And what's behind door number 17, I think? They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even not looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would be.
We're back. In the hospital room.
What was the point of that then?
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying. The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory.
Ace?
And then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
Oh. They told him about. He looked like anyone might after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He'd managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
Yeah, that's always a plus. 7 smiled.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here.
Seven tossed something small and metallic towards Junpei. Why is everyone giving everything important to Junpei? When did he become like the de facto leader?
Whoa.
Nice catch.
Jeez.
He caught it and found that the object was a key.
I see. So this is Jupiter.
On it, someone engraved a symbol very similar to a 4, or a 21, depending on how you look at it. He looked over at June, who nodded back. It had to be the Jupiter symbol.
I'm gonna let you hold on to that, alright?
Alright.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei tucked the new key into his pocket alongside
So how many
the other
unused
key.
keys do we have now?
There's the Earth key we found in the laboratory, the Saturn key card we found in the kitchen, and the Jupiter key you just gave me.
Okay. Junpei took the new keys inside his pocket. June spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were the first words that anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. You just lead us back to the big hospital room.
Yeah, but the journey gives us more stings.
There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
Yeah, Clover, I know. There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Except for me. Seven looked everywhere in the room except at Clover and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, Seven, you'll help me, won't you?
Clover, so 4, 1, 7. Yeah, that'll work.
Huh? Me?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. 4 plus 1 plus 7 is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. It looked like 7 was doing them too. At last, he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
Alright, let's get moving.
Alright, well, we're separating again. And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and Seven would discover what lay beyond door 3.
Okay, we're heading out.
And also, other than the 9th guy, the only thing that happened to anyone here has been Snake's disappearance. So, I'm assuming it's like Zero Time Dilemma, where it's just slowly building up the suspense. And when it happens, it's gonna hit like a motherfucking truck. But that's just me.
Be careful.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Seven nodded as if this answer made much more sense, and pulled the lever on the red.
Okay, we're off.
The door opened, and Ace, Clover, and Seven jumped through it. 6, 7, 8. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
All right, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Well, we have the keys. Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused.
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
But how would he have gotten there without the keys? They were there at the end of the hallway, lined by individual hospital rooms.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Alright. Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Junpei sucked in a breath, held it, and opened the door as quietly as he could. And there, lying in a pool of blood, was Snake. Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase.
Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Of course there's a reason.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
Huh?
This.
Junpei pulled two things out of his pockets.
The Saturn key card. And the Earth key? I'm lost.
Santa cocked his head to one side like an inquisitive bird and looked at them. After several long moments during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant, June took pity on him.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next
Yes.
to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it.
But the power was off. And also, that's just another card reader. Or that's just another red. I think. Maybe.
And on
No.
A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So, the two keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
You're a genius. June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into two teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you two can search Saturn, all right?
I'm okay with that plan.
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be brief.
We have no idea what's on the other side of these, so don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
Plan decided, the two teams split it up. Hey, wait, the power's on.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card.
That is a good idea. The light on the upper left corner blinked to
Great.
life.
It looks like it's working now.
All right, now how do I call the elevator?
There was a single button to the right of the elevator door.
Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
Click. The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. Well, hello there.
It opened! Look, Jumpy!
Yes, I was there. June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped toward the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Wait!
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of being locked up alone with a boy. After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked in such a small place alone with a boy.
Well, we will be all alone in here.
I've made my choice. I will live with it. In a way, it was kind of cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one guest. At least they didn't have to be. Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think how innocent she was.
Jumpy?
Huh? Oh, nothing. It's not important. Come on, let's go.
It's not important. Yeah, it's absolutely important. Again, he stepped toward the elevator. And again, he felt himself restrained.
I said wait a minute.
Okay, what's up?
Why?
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
No, I'm the action hero in this game.
Well, I've never,
She's never ridden an elevator.
you know.
It's your first time?
She'd never been in an elevator with a man alone before? Even so, she seemed awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
What?
Down there. I'd get soaking wet.
This fucking game. There was no hint of this in Zero Time Dilemma. And now it's just all fucking...
Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works. I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
That's true. You don't mind?
Mind what?
Getting wet.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, you know.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave.
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? I mean, if you get the chance, you've just got to go for it. That's what a man is supposed to do, I guess.
Yeah, you're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
My fucking god. I know exactly what both of them are talking about. And they're both talking about very different fucking things.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yes. So, I don't think I'll be able to last very long. And then it'll be over.
Oh my fucking god.
Over?
Yes. I'll go to heaven.
What?
Heaven?
It feels kind of like you're floating in space, and your mind gets all fuzzy, like when you pass out. At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes, I've heard that too. Although I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
This is... Oh my god. They are both such fucking idiots, and I love it.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. I mean, generally.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it. Eventually.
Oh my fucking god.
What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Oh, is that so?
Then it's only natural? Is that what's natural for living beings? Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. June seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror.
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out.
Oh.
He finally realized. He finally fucking realized. Finally, Junpei understood. He understood what June was trying to say and why she was so scared.
Yeah. right. You wouldn't last very long.
See?
She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks, which are covered in water.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater. An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, take a look inside.
Junpei jerked his head toward the interior of the elevator.
It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right. They are.
She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed.
Well, let's test it.
Test it.
Yeah, watch this. Now, I'll just put one foot inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two, E and C. All right, I'll push E.
He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator cart moved down.
I think I can hear it opening on E deck.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
A few moments later, the elevator returned. Hello, friend. It's been a while.
Yep, not a single drop of water to be seen. See?
Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest like a little bit. June, however, looked still confused.
What does that mean?
It means that there's no water in the area where the elevator is, my dear.
How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Oh.
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you.
He pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched out a rough illustration.
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket.
So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, alright?
But...
Come on, just do it, alright?
He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then hopped into the elevator. He pushed the E button, and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision, when suddenly...
I'm coming with you!
Wonderful.
Huh?
At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors.
Hey, wait!
Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late.
Oh, crap. It closed.
The door had shut, he and June were in the elevator, and it was headed down to E deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E deck.
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Ah, jeez.
After that whole conversation, the last thing she says to him in that entire thing is, "I'm coming with you." And that illustrates the last 10 minutes perfectly.